Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope that the sound in this is not ridiculous and the angle, I really need a frame, like something to work on. It's going to be particularly helpful when doing, this cat, when doing these videos because like right now I don't have anywhere to put my work and I stitch holding my frame most of the time. When I'm not recording, it's quite easy, but when I am recording, it's not as easy. So right now we're working on a chopping mall from the Witchy Stitcher. I haven't done a stitch with me using this in quite some time, and I think right now I'm just going to go one-handed, and then I'm going to have to change the angle when I finish him because these are the last couple of stitches on him. And then I need to move on to another box. So I'm going to finish him up. You know what? I might even do like a time lapse of finishing him real quick and then move on to a new box and then actually start the WIP and chat at that time because there's not that many stitches. There's 11 more stitches that I have to do right now. So I think we'll do that. Folks, welcome back to the normal WIP and chat. I hope that this angle is going to work. I'm sorry if my voice is all wonky. We're probably going to do this box here. I don't recall who sits in that box, but we're about to find out. So I'm almost done with the previous one that I just did. I'm trying to show you guys the pattern. Oh, it was this one. And the only thing I need to do is add in some French knots. Well, a French knot right here. I left out some back stitching right here, and that's it. But to be honest, I'm kind of tired of working on him, so I'm going to put him aside. So anyway, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy. I am an avid crafter. I craft all things. I do everything. I love crafting, and you know, what better way to spend your days, to be honest, in my opinion, especially during this very trying time that we're going through. I'm a full-time college student, and classes have been canceled. Not canceled, we're still doing classes, but we're not physically attending them on campus, which is okay. Not like the greatest thing, but you know, what can I do? It is what it is. Why did I print out where this box goes? I don't know where this box goes. I think this is the bottom box. So I guess we're doing this guy here. Am I missing a pattern? I feel like I'm missing a pattern. Where's Sam Heen at? Oh, there he is. Okay. So the box that goes there is Tutti Frutti. Can you guys see it? No, you can't. Tutti Frutti. I hope you guys saw Sawyer sewing what I was trying to point out. I don't think I had you guys in frame, but no big deal. So Tutti Frutti Place is what we're gonna work on, and she's the exorcist, and he's, I can't remember. Oh, what is it? What's the movie? House of a Thousand Corpses? Is that what it is? If I'm not mistaken. Yes. House of a Thousand Corpses. So we're going to work on that. You guys are probably going to hear my dogs making a big old deal out of everything because that's what they do. So, let me get to where I need to be on here and figure out what I'd like to start with. Alright, you guys. So, I don't even know, like, what my life is right now. Things are, I don't know, guys. I'm going through some really difficult things in my personal life right now, and I'm just trying to stay busy, you know, besides all of this crazy virus stuff. You know, my kids are at home. If you're new here, I do have 3 kids of my own, and then, well, obviously 2 of them belong to my husband, and I have an older son from my first marriage. But I don't know. It's crazy. So my husband and I have 3 kids, and then he has 3 older kids that don't live with us. And so everybody's been let go of their jobs. So it's been pretty difficult. This pattern, this box, I messed up on, and I'm trying to figure out, because I went 2 rows below extra, like 2 rows down. So everything is going to have to come down. So I'm trying to figure out if I should start at the top. I honestly think I'm just going to leave the border off. I mean, the top banner. Let me show you guys. Make sure you're in frame this time. Yeah. So this top border here, I think I'm going to have to leave that off, because on my pattern, I might have even actually went more than that. I got Stitch Happy and did too many rows in this box. So I know for certain that I have 2 extra rows here. Let me look at the placement real quick and see. Yeah, I have 2 extra rows, and so that kind of messes with the top. And the top banner is 4 widths long. I don't think it'd look the same if I took 1 row off and brought everything 1 row down. I mean, I guess it could, technically. I could bring the cross one up so it's not so low. I mean, it's still not touching her or anything, so I think I'll do that. I'll move everything 1 down and take off the top row of red. So I'd be removing the red. No, I'll put the red in, but I'll do 3 and 1 instead of 5, 3 and 1. I don't even know if you guys understood any of that. It is what it is. So things have been more difficult here than I'd like to admit. Not only that, but I have some, I just want to make sure that I have you guys at the right angle. I have some very personal things going on right now. Hold on, this hand will be out of the way right now. I just went into the wrong hole. I have some very, very personal things going on right now that at this time I probably won't be sharing on the channel, but I don't know. It's one of those things that you can't make any hasty judgments with. You can't open your mouth too soon. So we'll see how it goes, you know. I'm entering my final year at school. I have the summer and the fall semesters, and then I am done. I'm like 2 credits short of being called a senior. So I'm still registered as a junior, but I'll be taking my summer classes, and I'm taking 4 classes. Is it 4? I have it written down right here somewhere. Yeah, 4 classes over the summer, and then I'm taking 4 classes in the fall. It's the most classes I've taken in the summer, and also the least amount of classes I've taken in the fall. Actually, not the least amount. I've taken less, but the past year I've been doing nothing but like full time. So, you know, it is what it is. I need to figure out how up. I'm just going to keep going up until I get there. And then I'll be done. My bachelor program will be done. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do my master program at my school that I'm currently attending, because they don't have an online master program. And that's kind of what I'm interested in, because I'm pretty sure that I want to move into working with my bachelor's. Granted, I'm going to school to be a psychologist, and my end goal is to be able to have a private practice of my own at some point. I can't do that with a bachelor degree, but in the position that we are in, I will likely need to work as soon as I get my bachelor's. And so I will probably try to find a job right away. I might even start looking next semester when I'm getting closer to finishing, and just see what I can find. And because we don't know the status of anything at all. Like, who knows what it's going to be like at that point in time as far as jobs and working and everything. Like, it could be a whole different ball game at that point. So I don't want to spend too much time. Actually, I don't even want to spend any time talking about the virus. I know I already spent a little bit of time talking about it, but we're not going to talk about it. To be completely honest, I have unsubscribed from people's channels who aren't producing. I don't want to say that aren't putting out content, because I'm subscribed to plenty of people who only upload a video like once every 3 or 4 months, and that's fine. But I subscribe to them because I like what they show and I like what they talk about. And there's been a couple of people that, since all of this ish has gone down, and I completely understand that it has completely taken over people's lives, but some of these people have turned their videos into rants about the virus, and I just can't handle that. I am sticking to YouTube content because I like what you show. And not only that, but all of us need some kind of getaway from everything that's happening in the real world. And I feel like that's kind of what YouTube channels are, because especially craft channels, is we're not here talking about, I mean, yeah, a lot of us do talk about personal stuff, but that's not the bulk of the channel. The bulk of the channel is craft stuff. And so I've unsubscribed from people who have made lengthy videos crying that they've had to cancel vacations, and people who are just can't realize that this is bigger than them. You know, I haven't been commenting on as many videos lately either. Not because I'm not watching you guys, because I completely am. What it is that more people are producing more content, and I'm watching the content, and I have a huge playlist of videos that I'm trying to watch. And when the video ends, it automatically plays into the next video, and then I don't remember to go back and comment on that video. So I just need to take a minute and see how long this is. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 33. So I need to count this real quick. So I just want to throw it out there. If you guys notice that I haven't been commenting on videos, that's why. Not only that, but I feel like this whole situation really shows people who they truly are. And I just can't get behind supporting people who only can't see beyond themselves, I guess is what I should say. So it is what it is. I don't know what made the deal is. I have been getting massive frogs lately in my throat every time I do a video. I was noticing in the floss tube that went up today, I'm recording this on Saturday, and I the last like month I've put my floss tubes up on Saturday, and I was noticing when I was editing that video that I was constantly clearing my throat, and that's why I don't know what it is. I'm not sick, but I do have really bad allergies. I take allergy pills already every single day because of that, and I guess like, I don't know, maybe being cooped up in the house, I don't know. I've been having to clean extra because, you know, everybody's home all day. Not only that, but I have animals and they create a lot of freaking dust and dander. And hasn't been good for my allergies, especially not getting out as much, not getting as much fresh air. I try to go out and sit on the porch as much as I can. I mean, we don't really have a porch, but, you know, as much of a porch as you can have when you live in the city. So, you know, it is what it is. So I had set a goal to finish this pattern by yesterday, because she was supposed to release the new pattern by yesterday. The last pattern, and she didn't. I'm not 100% sure what happened. I'm not a person who tends to ask a lot of questions, especially if I don't like know the person well. But there was a post in the group stating that the pattern release for yesterday has been postponed another 2 weeks. So in a way that's good for me, because now I have another 2 weeks to get this finished, but then at the same time it's like, do I want to push this out another 2 weeks? I think I just want to finish it. I honestly did not do a lot of stitching this week. I have only worked on this a couple of days, and that's literally it. So today's Saturday. I've been recording my floss tubes on Thursdays. So we'll just see what we get done at that point. I still haven't finished all of my tasks in Enchanted Stitching. I was going to do one more task about stitching on your oldest WIP, but I just haven't felt like stitching on it. I don't know. I hope my head's not in the way. I'm gonna have to... Oh god, I hope my head's not in the way. I don't think so. I think you guys are close enough to my... Whoa! My head isn't in the way, but I feel like I'm off angle as well. I don't know. I know you guys aren't close enough where you could actually like see the stitches. That's just because I can't get a good angle for you guys. I still feel like you're so far away and you're zoomed in quite a bit. But I really just need a frame. I need to get some kind of frame that I could work on. I've been eyeing Dubco Factory. They're not American, but they look amazing, and my problem is just that it's just not something that I'm willing to spend the money on right now, especially now that, you know, all this stuff that's going on is going on. Like, I just can't imagine spending $200 to $300 on a standing frame to make cross stitching more comfortable for myself. I mean, sure, I'd probably get less headaches from not having my stitching up in my face, and I'd probably, you know, my back would not hurt. You know, to be honest, my back doesn't hurt when I'm stitching because I try to sit in as comfortable of a position as I can. Mostly what starts hurting is my shoulders and my neck. That's mostly what it is. And a frame would allow me to raise it up enough that would hold me accountable for sitting up straight and not strain my neck at the same time. So it just, you know, I'm just not in a position to want to spend that much money right now. I can, don't get me wrong. I don't want to. Dubco Factory on Instagram, if you haven't checked them out, check them out. They are constantly posting videos, and they bulk make their stands, so you're not waiting 6 months for a stand like you are for some of the handmade stands here, which is great. And why, one of the reasons like why I'm still keeping my eye on them. Right now they're having a sale, like with everything that's going on. They've put their stuff on sale, and it's like I don't know, $70 cheaper than what it would normally be, but it's still like, if I'm not mistaken, it was $3.89, the one that I wanted, and now it's $3.17. So that's still a pretty good, I mean, it's still a great price, but damn, like, I don't know. I can't remember if shipping's free or not, but it is what it is. Yeah, so, and honestly, guys, I don't even know, like, what to talk about. I don't know what to say. My life is a hot mess right now. I don't even know, like, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, given that everything that's going on with this virus, but I have that going on and then some. Like, I don't even know how to process everything right now. I feel like I'm probably not handling it the way that I should be, but at the same time, like, is there any right or wrong way to handle something? Like, first, let me just say, nobody died. Nobody's sick. You know, it's just, I feel like in your life, you have to make decisions where, it's like, Michelle Bandy did a moral compass, charity chart, and it was from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. At the end, Dumbledore says, we must choose between what is right and what is easy. And that's where I'm at in my life right now. You have to choose between what is right and what is easy. And I think coming to the decision wasn't incredibly difficult because I know that it's the right decision. But, like, and it has nothing to do with my YouTube channel or nothing like that either. Or crafting, like, that's not going anywhere. So I just to provide some, like, context, you know, and at some point I may share a little bit more about that, but it's so hard to put those thoughts aside and come on here and talk about random nothingness when it's all I can think about. It sounded like somebody was walking in my front yard. Yesterday the weather was god awful. It was windy. It was just a hot freaking mess. Oh my gosh, like, I could not with yesterday's weather. It kind of died down a little bit in the evening, enough for my girls to go outside and still play for about an hour. We have been still letting them play in the backyard. We have not been going for walks lately. We probably should be. There's so many people out walking right now that I'm so nervous to walk. I think we've got about 13 cases of the virus in my city, and I know that that is small beans compared to other places, but it's still like, we don't know who these people are. We don't know where they live, you know, and I've heard that the virus affects everybody differently, so they might not be, like, completely laid up in bed. Like, maybe they want to get some fresh air and they go outside. I don't know, you know, I don't know. So we have a trampoline, and they've been jumping on the trampoline, which is great. It gets rid of a lot of energy, and we've tried to maintain still somewhat of a normal schedule. You know, we're still obviously breakfast and dinner, lunch. We're still reading, and I've been having them, my girls like to write anyway and do stories and things like that, so that hasn't been an issue, like getting them to do their daily writing and everything. At this point, my school still has not, I don't think I mentioned that I live in New Mexico, for those of you who don't know. They've officially announced that K through 12 schools will not be going back to school. They will be moving to an online platform. My school, not my school, but our school district for K through 12, they are not prepared for moving to an online platform. And so as of now, they still don't have any like work in place. They still don't, like, all we have is like a couple of recommended websites from teachers. And so this week is still technically their spring break. And so they were still given next week off. So I think like the there it goes again, see? The elementary schools aren't I feel like they're not in a rush to implement some kind of homework system for everything yet, because they were told that they had until like the 6th or something before they were going to go back. And so I feel like they're just taking their time with that. The middle school, however, because my son is in 8th grade, I've already heard from several of his teachers with what to do. His teachers, well, one of his classes is band. So that's like, we don't have to, like, it sucks because he doesn't get to finish the year. They don't get to have their end of the year concert and everything. But so that's already one less class that he has to like worry about. And his math teacher has already reached out. And what was the other one that I spoke with another one yesterday. They've already provided the links for their, because they already do their homework online. They just do it in class. And so they've already provided the information for them to be able to log in at home. So that's good too. Let's see, now I need to count. This is where I always screw up. I'm probably going to do that brown. Well, that's the same brown as that, so I'll have to share. Because I've got some like random, let me show you guys where I'm at. Can you see, first of all? Yeah. So some random, there's like they're not random. They're obviously, they make sense, but 4 brown squares by themselves. I don't think my thread is long enough to do both of these and travel across this to do these brown squares, but this cross is the same brown as this. So I think I'll skip these for now, and then when I come to the cross, I'll do cross country and put that down. So there is that. Anyway, so I changed my fabric of the month from Be Stitch Me to a higher count fabric. So I'm kind of excited about that because I was looking at a lot of my patterns the other day, and I'm the type of person that likes to just have everything kitted up. I want everything ready to go. The problem that I have is I'm running out of room, but that's not what I'm trying to say. So I was looking at a lot of my patterns, and I was noticing that I don't have a lot of higher count fabric. I have a lot of 28 count, but again, I have some really weird cuts of 28 count from where I was cutting for other larger projects, and it left me with some odd sized pieces. So I did switch my fabric of the month to a higher count. So she told me she would send me 28 and 32 counts until I decided to change it again, because I've got a ton of 18, 16, and 14 count fabrics, and I just don't think I need any more because I'm not using them for anything. I'm not putting them in projects, and I'm finding that everything that I do want to work on now is all I need a lot of 32 count fabric. So some of the 28 counts I did put in projects, but I need to dye them. And that's an issue that I'm having right now, because making sure you guys are still in frame. Letters from Nora. The L pattern that I have, 5, 10, 15, 21. The L pattern that I have both of them actually. I showed you guys a piece of Be Stitch Me fabric that was going to be in there. I have since taken that Be Stitch Me fabric out. Was it Be Stitch Me? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because I just didn't feel like the color, there was like 2 or 3 colors that were the same colors that were in the Ada that I wanted to use, and I wasn't comfortable with that. I didn't think that it was going to do it justice. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I need 7 more stitches. I just didn't think that it was going to do it enough justice. And so I took it out and swapped it for a piece of 28 count even weave. And I'm probably going to have to dye it because it calls for like sea lily or water lily linen. I don't know what it is. But it looks different in both of the images. They both call for the same linen. And it looks different. In one of them, it looks more of like a yellow-green. And in the other one, it looks more of like a, I don't know, like a tannish yellow, if that makes sense. And so I don't know what I'm going to do. Unless I get something great from Bestitch Me in my April fabric of the month, or maybe my May fabric of the month, because I'm going to be doing wool spins, and if I don't get the fabric, if my fabric of the month comes before those two are drawn, then maybe that's still a possibility. I just do know that those are for sure Mania starts. So I think I'm going to have to dye. I think I'm going to wait one more month and see before I dye the 28 count fabric, just in case. I gotta count again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I need 3 more stitches. So, oh, and then the Raven Queen. I forgot to tell you guys in my floss tube about the Raven Queen cell. Not the Raven Queen cell, but the Aries B-Day cell. I did not start the Aries B-Day cell. I know that I still have plenty of time. I don't know what I was thinking. I could have sworn when I started when I started kitting her up, I could have sworn that I was paying attention to how many specialty stitches were in there. And I don't mean like a bunch of crazy things. I just mean half stitches and 3/4 stitches, because Mirabilias are famous for that, especially in the skin. And I don't know what I was thinking. I think I thought that it was all just half stitches, and it's not. There are several fractional stitches in her arms, and I was just looking at it and I thought, you know what, I'm just not comfortable making that many fractional stitches on Ada because they just don't look right. You can do it, and if it's like 1 or 2, then like it's fine. But when you're doing like an arm and you know you have like this whole curve that you have to follow, like I'm not comfortable doing that. And especially because it's a Mirabilia, it's already like an extravagant pattern, I guess you should say. Mirabilias are like no joke. And so I think if you're gonna stitch the Mirabilia, you should take the extra consideration to stitch it on a higher count fabric to make doing the stitches easier, because it's a fractional stitches. So I actually did order some some white 32 count something. I can't remember what it is at this point, but I ordered something from 123 Stitch, and that should be here I think on Monday. I'm not sure. It shipped already. I ordered it last week sometime, and it shipped yesterday sometime. I got the tracking number the day before, but they didn't pick it up until yesterday. So I did get a new fabric for that, so I'm probably gonna have to dye that as well. I'll probably go with the same color scheme that I did before. Maybe a little bit lighter, because there's a lot of gray in her already as it is, and I just want to make sure that it all shows up. I might even do something different altogether. I'm actually thinking of doing like a gray and maybe purple, some kind of like lighter purple. I don't know, we'll see. There's a color conversion for her too that, God, just looks freaking great. If you guys are interested in doing Mirabilias, there's a Mirabilia, I don't know exactly the name of the group, but it's like Mira color conversions only or something like that. And man, let me tell you, those people, they have I don't think I have the patience to color convert a Mirabilia. It just, yeah. So Lady in Red, I think she's called, or just Red. I'm not 100% sure. There's a color conversion on her where they changed her to blue. Oh my word. It is stunning. And I never noticed that pattern as much as when I saw her in blue, and I was like, oh my god, what pattern is this? And that's how I found the group, because they posted it in Mira Mira on the Wall. That's another Facebook group of only Mirabilias. And I asked, and they're like, oh, it's red, but I used the color conversion in the group. And I was like, what group? I can't find it. And they led me to the color conversion group. So yeah, wow, she really looks amazing. So back in my cross stitch, first started doing cross stitch, I was not impressed with Mirabilia at all. And there's still, everybody has a taste, right? So there's still many Mirabilias that I just don't care for. But I am finding that some of the ladies I do like the red one, she came out stunning with the color conversion. Raven Queen, I feel like that's obvious, and there's a couple of the fairies that I really enjoy too that I would like maybe one day to get in my stash. So but like a lot of the other stuff, there's still stuff that I don't like some of the Santas, I don't really care for that. There's a lot of the other like fancy ladies, like I showed you guys two that I ended up getting on D-Stash. Not because I purposely chose them, but because they came with a chart that I did want. Like they're okay, and they would look very nice stitched up, but it's not something that I would have purchased separately on my own, if that makes sense. So, you know, I think there's one called Feather Fairy or something like that. She is so cute. Running Stitch just finished her. I think it was in her last floss tube. She showed her finished, and she came out so nice. Another problem that I have though is how huge they come out to be. I personally, and I think that's part of my problem too, is why I'm not as inclined to like just purchase a whole bunch of them, is because I don't want them that big, and they're not, they're already like on 32 count fabric. Even though you're doing over 2, it would still be 16 count. But if I were to bump it up to 36 count or 40 count, I just can't see, you know? I can't see. It took me a very long time to get used to doing 28 count. So now I'm really nervous to do, I keep scooting you guys this way. I'm really nervous to do, my chair squeaks, so if you hear a weird noise, it's my chair. 36 count, but I'm gonna see how it goes with 32 and go from there, and then maybe I might go try a 36 count just to try to do some of the other ladies that I would eventually like to stitch, because I just don't want them that big. Like some of them are like 18 inches tall, and I feel like that's just too big. I don't know, like, yeah, it's large. It's very large. So I'm gonna pause you guys for a second so I can see how far we are. All right, you guys, we are like 40 minutes, and I feel like we got absolutely nothing done. I don't know. Like, I feel like seriously, all I have to show for it is these 2 lines. You know, it is what it is. I don't know. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more stitching, and then we'll move on. I will, oh no, stop this video. Hopefully you guys are in frame. And then, yeah, you know, I wish I did more stitching in that freaking tiny little bit that I did. How many strings is here? I don't know why this. So I have a question. How long of a strand do you guys leave your work, not your work, but your floss before you, oh man, this one, oh, come on, before you do you save it or get rid of it? I was thinking about that the other day. I put a new strand of floss on my needle, and I only had a couple of stitches, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to keep it or get rid of it. And there's been times where I end up saving it, and then I do end up using it. And sometimes it works out where I need it for just another small amount of stitches, and then I feel like I have an appropriate amount of floss to get rid of. But then at the same time, it's like, do I know if I'm going to use this strand of floss yet? Like, do I just get rid of it? I feel like because floss is so inexpensive, I'm more okay to get rid of a larger piece, more so than I would normally be if it was like more expensive, or if it was like a piece of silk or something. But I don't know, like, I don't know if that's just me that feels that way. Like, how do you guys have like a certain inch that you save? If you're like, say I did this and I only needed these 4 stitches and then I had to cut it off, I would still have a good amount of floss left, or I could still get several stitches out of this strand. But like, how, I still don't know, like, if I should save it. I can't tell how many stitches I need here. Whoops, see, there goes a red piece. Did you guys see that? 5, 6, 7, 8 on each side. So yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of like torn, because sometimes I do end up saving the floss, and then it ends up getting tangled in something else, or I try to pull it off of the card, the floss card, and then it ends up tearing the floss card because it won't pull the way I want it to pull. I don't know. I haven't quite figured that out yet. If it's like an unusually long piece, if I only need it for like 2 stitches, then I will save it. But if it's like half of the size that because I pre-cut, you guys know, well, I don't know if you know, but I mentioned before, I pre-cut all my floss. So if it's like half or less, I've just been tossing it. And I don't know, like, I don't know if I mean, I know there's not a right or wrong way. And I know, like, everybody does it differently. And I feel bad for getting rid of the floss, if that makes sense. Because I don't know why. I really don't. You know? You guys, next week's floss tube, I'm going to have the most amazing haul ever. Like, in my opinion, anyway. I am so excited with the items that I got. I went overboard a little bit, and I won't be able to, not that I won't be able to, but it's, yeah. I have a feeling next week's video is going to be a long one because of the haul. It was dirt freaking cheap that I couldn't pass it up. It's not here yet. It won't be here till Monday or something, but yeah. And then with everything, I've been letting the mail sit in the box for a couple of days because I don't want to get it that day, you know, out of fear that, you know, it could have some unknown germs on it or something. So, you know, we shall see what happens. I haven't even been on the Facebook groups as much lately because there has been so much like cattiness in mostly Cross Stitch Unlimited, and I think it's because they allow other posts and everybody's like having a big old shit fit because people are talking about like other things that aren't stitching related, and it's allowed in that group, but it's just been like nuts. Everybody's up in arms about everything, and like nobody's even talking about cross stitch anymore, and it's very frustrating. So I've kind of been staying off of Facebook groups unless I see something. I kind of haven't even been browsing Facebook as much lately anyway. I've just been trying to catch up on FlossTube and craft videos because, like I said, a lot of people are posting extra videos, and so now I'm having a hard time getting through them all. I haven't even had a chance to watch anything on TV because everything I'm watching has just been trying to catch up on FlossTube. So I think I'm going to do that today. I did all my laundry yesterday, since I don't have any laundry to do today, but I would like to sweep and mop and work on my crochet project. So I think after this, I'm going to go over there and do some crocheting and work on that a bit and hopefully get a couple of rows done. I've been neglecting it the past several weeks. Yesterday, I didn't stitch at all yesterday. And, well, I mostly did laundry for a good chunk of the day. And I'm the type of person that I don't pile my stuff up after it dries and pile it and pile it and pile it and then put it all away later. I don't do that. When the dryer is done, I take it out of the dryer and I fold it as I'm taking it out, or I lay it over the door if it needs to be hung. And then I take it upstairs because all of our bedrooms are upstairs and I put it away. Or if it's like only a couple of pieces, like, gosh dang, my throat. If it's only a couple of pieces of like a certain kid's clothing, then I'll just like lay it in the hamper because I have a clean clothes hamper, and then I'll wait until there's more clothes there to go put that away or whatever. But I just found that it's easier to put my clothes away as they're coming out of the dryer than waiting for all of them to come out and let them pile up. Not only that, but I hang all my shirts and I refuse to iron. I don't iron anything. I didn't even own an iron for the longest time. And so I would rather pull it out of the dryer unwrinkled and go hang it right away so that it stays unwrinkled instead of having to still pile everything up and iron it all at once. My grandma used to iron everything all at once and then hang it, or have to iron it before I get ready because I don't have time for that shit, you guys. I don't. You know, ironing is just out the door. And my husband doesn't iron either. He doesn't iron his work clothes because they're not wrinkled. Because I take them out of the dryer. I do what I gotta do to keep like the flaps on the shirt down and the pockets down. You know, so we don't worry about that. If that makes any sense at all. So what I've been doing to end these is I've been coming up and then going back down. It's just easier than hiding the stitch right now at this point. And then I cut. I'm not, you guys can see I'm pulling it too hard. I don't want to cut too close to the fabric. I can't even find it. There we go. All right, so see this piece here? This isn't long enough for me to save. Can you guys even see? Yeah. This isn't long enough for me to save because it's two pieces. It's no longer one strand like it was when I pulled it out. It's two pieces now. So one of these would be really short. I could probably maybe get 5 stitches out of it. I wouldn't save this. But I notice a lot of people keep like Ort jars or whatever. And that's why I was wondering, because it didn't look like people's Ort jars had longer pieces of floss in it. They all look like little tiny pieces. And that's what made me wonder, like, do I waste floss? I probably do, because I don't see people in their Ort jars ever have long pieces of floss. And that doesn't always happen. There's plenty of times where I end up using the entire strand and don't have anything left over, or have just enough to do the amount of stitches that I need or whatever, you know. This has like lens on it. I talked about this before, but when I made my first project bag, I didn't put fabric on the inside. I just used the liner, the interfacing, and I left the interfacing in there like that. And I didn't notice a problem for a while, but I think with all of the like taking in and out, it started making the interface really, really fuzzy. This floss has like a piece of fuzz on the end of it. I'm gonna try to hide. The floss I started noticing was like really linty. And when I realized what it was the interfacing was creating a lot of lint on the floss. And so now I've been careful to keep, because this project is the bag that this is being stored in. And so it was this floss that has like a ton of lint on it. And I'm having to like kind of shed the floss, I guess. And I've been keeping it in the plastic bag now. If I put it back, lately this has just been sitting out on my desk, and I've had my floss just hanging over I have like a rolling cart that has papers and stuff in it. All of that's just been sitting there on top, and so it hasn't gone in the bag, but I've been careful to store it in a gallon bag before I put it back in the bag so that doesn't happen. Did I do 5? I did do 5. I only needed 4. 1, 2, yeah, I only needed 4, so now I have to take a stitch out. Good thing I did it that way though, instead of the way I normally do it. Normally I would have went all the way up and down, because then I would have had to frog more than, I would have had to frog the top stitch of all of those stitches instead of just the one. All right, so there's 4. Okay. And I need another 4. So these are going to be the last 4 stitches on here that I'm going to do, because this video is going to be super long. I figured, oh, I'll just jump on here real quick, do 20 minutes. And I feel like it's never going to be 20 minutes. And then once I actually start talking or start editing, like the videos end up to be so long, because I always think that I don't have anything to say. And then I end up having like all kinds of stuff to say. Oh, real quickly, there's going to be a Google form link in the description box below now that I'd like everybody to fill out if they plan on entering any giveaways. I'm just having so much trouble getting a hold of giveaway winners, and I just feel like it shouldn't be that hard to get a hold of anybody. And I know, like, you enter giveaways and you probably forget, because I do the same thing. Like, I forget whose videos I comment on or whatever. Here come all my animals in here. And so I still have a giveaway chart that I haven't been able to mail out, because I don't have her address, and I've commented on her video. I mean, on her comment, I could have sworn that she had already sent it to me, and now I cannot find it. That person's Amy Swihart. So Amy, if you're watching, I really need you to send me a message with your address. I remember we talked, I asked you if you changed your name, because I was trying to make sure it was the same person. You replied that you did, and then I told you I needed your address, and I never got a reply back. I've also been having a really hard time with YouTube comments. Comments aren't showing up for me. I have to go hunt for the comments for some reason. I don't know why. They're not coming up anymore on the mobile, because there's a YouTube app that you can use to do like minor editing to your video. And they are no longer showing up in that. I have to actually go to the regular YouTube app, click on the video, and scroll down to see the comments. I don't know why this is happening. And so I'm noticing that I am missing a lot of comments. If you have something important that you want to say, and you notice that it's been like a day or two, like more than a day, and I haven't responded, reach out to me another way if it's something that you feel like you really need the answer to. Oh, I also want to mention, there's a handful of you that I do talk to outside of YouTube, and that is great. But I do want to tell you guys, I don't answer phone calls, mostly because I just don't have the time. I've gotten a lot of you, I'm not singling anybody out, but there's a few of you that I spoke with very early in my YouTube journey and have become decent friends with you guys, but I just don't do phone calls. I don't have the patience for it. It holds me back from getting things done because I feel like I can't make noise while I'm doing it. I can't concentrate like on a project if I'm talking on the phone. And then not only that, but I have a bunch of kids in my house who are very loud. The only person that I talk to on the phone is my grandma. Because she does not use, she has a smartphone, but she doesn't use it. She's the only person that I talk to on the phone. Everybody else texts. We text. All of my family uses text messaging, and that's how I keep in contact with everybody except for my grandma because she doesn't do that. So, you know, just throwing that out there. All right. Did I even say what I was trying to say? Let me think. Yeah, Mystical Diamond Art is still running as usual. I do have a lot of stuff coming, you guys, so just stay tuned. I know I have a lot of you guys who watch both my diamond painting videos and my cross stitch videos, so just know there is more stuff coming. Okay, you guys, I think that's it. I'm gonna edit this video and get it uploaded. This one will probably go up Monday. So today's Saturday. I've been pretty good about getting my videos up quicker lately. I know before I was doing my videos like weeks in advance. I always had at least minimum a week of videos. I'm not doing that anymore just because I don't have, it was mostly because I had a lot of unboxings that I was doing as separate videos from AliExpress. And since I haven't been ordering from AliExpress anymore, not for like because of everything that's going on, but just because I'm really trying to keep my stash from growing bigger, especially with bulky things like diamond paintings and stuff. So I don't have a lot of haul from AliExpress. All right, you guys, I really gotta go. This video is way too long, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.